All right, we'll do something kind of quick here. I've just been kind of playing over these changes for the song by the band. That's called the song's called Ophelia, which lots of band fans know that song, Ophelia. You can see it played in the last waltz. It's pretty cool. I like it because it's a fun exercise to play over changes that involve dominant chords and cycles of fourths and things. And the song starts with a C. Actually has an intro, but mainly it's the verses and where Robbie solos over which is a verse section that I work out for the exercise. So it's C to E7, A7, or at least this is how I play it, to D7, then to F, to G, or you can play G7, and then it cycles through C to A7, to D7, to G7. So this is 1, 3, dominant 3, 3 flat is 7, dominant 6, dominant 2, to the 4, to the 5, and then your kind of standard rhythm changes turn around. So 1, 6, 2, 5. This is one of those songs where, like, if you're hanging around or you're out somewhere and somebody's playing and they invite you up to sit in and they say, "All right, take a solo on Ophelia," I've watched a lot of people fall flat on their face because this song has these changes in it, and you can't just play a pentatonic scale over it. I mean, you could try, you know. And what Robbie does in the last waltz isn't really, he's not playing over the changes. He's just kind of playing minimal as much as he can, because it's kind of a minefield. It's real easy to play a bunch of bad notes in that progression. So if I'm doing it, what I'm going to end up doing is, I'm going to outline my C with just, this is kind of blues stuff. Just some kind of walk up. And where it gets interesting is here. Like, most people tend to just go, okay, I'm going to play an E7, which you can do. You could be like, that works perfectly fine. In fact, I should probably do that more often. To the A7. So I've got C, just outlining, that's an E7. But what I usually do over that E7 is it's just slightly a little more exotic. I use the E7 as the 5 chord to A harmonic minor. So what you end up with is kind of more, it's just a little bit exotic. Like, I'm just using the diminished. Or I might outline that scale by going. Or something like that. I might go, like from the C. Get me to the A, because this is over the E7. I'm playing A harmonic minor. It's a minor over for A, and then the next chord after E7 is an A7. So it's a major. So we're going from A minor to A major. So D7 fifth mode harmonic minor to A, A blues, you know, and then down to D. Gotta watch what I'm doing. I'm kind of doing a lot of D major pentatonic with some chromaticisms. I do a lot of walking between the 3 and the 5. It's a nice way to connect things. D major, and then it goes to F in the progression, and F is actually D minor pentatonic. They're relative. F major pentatonic's the same as D minor. Here's F major, and then here's the D minor. What am I doing? So that's the same as F major. So if I'm playing D major over the D7, I can just switch over to D minor for the F. And then right here I'm on an F, which is this flat 7 for G. I can use this to get into my G. There's that chromatic. It's either up to from the 3 to the 5 or from the 5 to the 3. And I'll do a passing tone from the sharp 9 right here to the major third. So if I'm going like G7, I'm outlining that. Kind of blues scale. Or well, if I put the flat 5 in, it's a blues scale, but that's more of just kind of G blues. So the whole thing put together, I've got this, it starts with C. So that's this, that's diminished over the E. Which works over that A harmonic minor. If you're in the A harmonic minor, and you're playing the 5 chord over that, you can play a diminished run based off of that by going a half step up from the root of the 5. So E is the root, so if I go a half step up, I can play my diminished from there. All minor thirds. So C. So that was E diminished, F diminished, depending on how you look at it. To A, I got a major third right here to the A. So I can walk right up to it. Walk down from the A to the flat 7. Which now gives me this chromatic to the D. And I can walk down, I can do that same exact. From the D I can walk it down, and it's going to land on a B, which is the third of G, so I can walk that down. And then from here I can walk it down right to the C. So that's a great tool that you can use to cycle through these changes. If I'm playing, like if I'm playing A, let's see. Here's A, so I'm coming off of C. The E is the third for C. And I'm going to walk that down to the C sharp, which is the third of A. To the A, right? So I've got C. from the A, I just walked that down. Now I'm on the third for the D. And then I walk the D down. And I walk this G down. And now I've kind of covered the changes. C to A to D, D to G, and G to C. Often I'm doing this down like, oops, sorry, down to a lower note. But you can go to a higher note. So you could go, like if I wanted to go, if I'm here at A, like walking from the C, I can go to that A, but I can also go to this one. Same here. So that's a great way to connect things, just using that chromatic. 5 down to 3, or you can use 5 up to, or 3 up to 5 sometimes. And then I'm going from C to A. You could get a D7 right here if you want. To G7. So you can kind of hear the changes in there as I'm playing these scales. I'm intentionally outlining each one of these chord changes as I'm playing through them. I've got it stored in my little looper here. Let me see if I can play it and see what happens. Just a short version. I got lost there. right, you get the idea. It's up on two wheels there a couple times, but it's a lot for my brain to process. All right, anyway, just something kind of fun for today. Short little deal, and I'll catch up with you soon. Hope that gives you at least some things to play with. I know what I'm doing is far from perfect, but I'm just like I said, these are exercises, so I fumble a little bit here and there, but it's always good to kind of stretch out and try to play over these changes. So hope you get something out of it, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, thanks. Bye.